Hi, this is Monk from Team Liquid, and I'm bringing you coverage from the BWC WCS Grand Finals. I'm here with Acer.Nerchio on day 2. And before we begin, I noticed that you're not wearing your team shirt today. Could you go on a little bit about that?
Yeah, I really wanted to do an interview, but I didn't take a shirt today because I lost yesterday, so there was really no reason for me to take the shirt, especially because I lost yesterday, and I didn't think I'll do interviews today, but it's better to do the interview than not do it.
Okay, so yesterday you played your first match against Creator, and unfortunately you lost. Previously in an online tournament, you had lost to Creator 0-3. So with that in mind, did you have a bad mentality going into it?
No, maybe a little bit, but I didn't play my best online before, so I wasn't really worried because of the results that I, had online against him. Mm-hmm. It was more like, I could see that he's doing very well against Zergs, especially, and he knows how to do 3 base timing pushes or 2 base timing pushes. And I think Immortals are so strong to stop. If you
Scarlett is actually behind us right now, and they're both laughing so hard because they probably lost to the same thing against Creator. Can you describe how the games went against Creator?
Yeah, I actually destroyed him first game, but I put the Infestation Pit in my base. He scouted it, and I had a Hidden Spire. So he left his base, and 18 Mutas entered his main. So I think I won pretty convincingly, but it wasn't really because I played better, just because he was surprised with what I did. And in other games he just killed me with 3 base timing pushes, with Immortals, Archons, Colossus or whatever. And it was pretty easy for him, I guess.
Oh, okay. So those are just 2 games? Didn't you have a third game, or?
Yeah, I won first, and 2 games, then 3 base timing pushes both.
Oh, both. Okay, both games. And even in the first game, he tried a 3 base timing because of the harass that he couldn't go through. Next, you played against Moonglade, right? How are those games?
Actually, first game was quite close, but I expected to win versus him, so I did in the end. The second game was quite easy for me, but the first one could go either way.
Okay, and then finally you met up against Scarlett. We would like to know what's your relationship with Scarlett? What do you practice a lot? How did she come to your team, or do you talk to each other about strategy? And going into the tournament, you knew that you might have had to play Scarlett. So what was your mindset going in?
So we talk a little bit about strategies, but we don't really practice. We just practice here because there was nothing to do. Yeah, except playing StarCraft. So we played some games. Another part of the question. Yeah, so when I first saw Scarlett playing at IPL, I think it was. Yeah, I thought she was good, so I suggested the Acer to take her into the team. And I guess that was a good decision because now she's better than me.
Okay, in your games against Scarlett, we saw something that we don't see very much before, which is Infested Broodlord battles against each other. Now, people often think that Infested Broodlord is very imbalanced, but then you have 2 Infested Broodlord combinations against each other. It's like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. Does this situation of Infested Broodlord mirrors come up often in professional play? For players who are having trouble with Infested Broodlord, it seemed very wacky, that game, and because of the 0-3 broodlings attacking each other and never killing each other. How do you suggest players play that out?
It's actually hard to say. I don't even know right now, but this composition is more and more popular late game. Yeah, people are going for Broodlords more than it was before, because in the past it was mostly Roach, Hydra, Infestor, and that's it. But now, when you have a few Broodlords, the battle changes immediately, and you can easily win if the opponent doesn't have anything to kill them. So yeah, you pretty much have to go a few Broodlords, but then you sometimes should make corruptors, but it's not always a good idea. Maybe queens might help, but yeah, it's just I don't really know right now. So for sure you need like a lot of infestors and infested terrains. But yeah, corruptors are useful if you can snipe some broodlords. But on the other hand, they can be sniped easily by hydras or infested terrains. So I don't really know right now. It's really hard to play.
So that was just one of the games. How did the overall series go?
Well, I lost to 0. The second game was kind of easy for Scarlett because I tried to change my build from what I usually do. So it didn't really go so well. And I lost after like pretty much too much damage from Midas.
Interesting enough, Dustin Browder was watching your games and they thought they were very interesting, this Infested Broodlord battles. He was like, oh, what's going on? You know how Dustin Browder is. Okay, so now that you're out of the tournament, right now the finals is it's Creator versus Parting. Who do you think will win between the two?
It's really hard to say. I think it's Creator because I think he did good like in Korea versus other Protosses. But I don't really, it's not really very important for me who will win because if it was Zerg in the final, I would hopefully, I would have a person to cheer for. But if it's two Protoss, it's a little bit disappointing for me.
So I was wondering, is this your first time to China? And if so, or if not even, what do you think of it?
Yeah, it's my first time to China. Actually, it's like a first long trip. But I didn't feel any jet lag or anything like that. Yeah, I don't really have like any special feelings about China in general. I think like when I travel around the world, I don't know, everything like seems very similar, kind of. I mean, China is for sure different than anything else. But yeah, I don't really have like a lot of things to say, except I don't really eat much here. But I don't really eat a lot anywhere, so that's not really different from anywhere else.
Yeah, you probably might not want to eat after hearing Grubby's story with the poisoned or the food poisoning. Okay, so moving on, we recently talked about Dustin Browder, and he said some interesting things, to say the least. The first thing he said was that he didn't think Immortal Century all-ins were going to be a problem for Zergs in the future, and that they were handling it. He thinks that Zergs are making mistakes, and in the future, without Blizzard intervention, that Zergs will be able to defend Immortal Century all-ins pretty well. What do you think about that comment?
I don't think so, because it was like already 6 months or 1 year. I don't know when Protosses started doing that. But if we didn't find a solution until now, and we tried really a lot of things, so I don't know, maybe there is like builds that, I mean, actually there is builds that can stop it, but it's a gamble and it's not really safe to do that, except everything else. So maybe if you see them doing that, you can stop it, but you have to count on them not doing anything else, which would probably kill you.
So for Zergs who are having trouble, what kind of builds do stop it? Or normally, if you're just playing a normal style, do you have some tips for Zergs?
I don't know if you can stop it. I mean, you can definitely stop it like with this build, but if you play standard, it's very hard. You have to depend on your opponent being bad rather than you being good. So you should pretty much rush to infestors and make lings.
Okay, fair enough. Dustin also revealed that he was considering future changes for the Infestor. For Wings of... Okay, so the first change was that we're not sure if this is Wings or Heart of the Swarm, but the Infested Terrans will be changed somehow, and he doesn't know how. And obviously they're going to be somehow scaled back a bit or changed so that they're less useful in some situations, but more useful in others. For Fungal Growth in Wings of Liberty, he plans to make psionic units immune to fungal growth. So these are units like High Templar and Ghosts and Mothership, which is probably intended. But then you have other units like Dark Templar, Archon, and Sentry. And then the next change is that in Heart of the Swarm, he's considering that fungal might be a projectile. Like it's going to be like EMP in Brood War. I'm not sure if you've seen the GIFs or the videos on Reddit about that. And also, Neural, he wants to remove it in Heart of the Swarm. So for all these changes of the Infestor, do you have opinion on any of them?
I don't really know how they want to change Infested Terrans. I think they are good like it is right now. They are not that good against Terran, I feel like. Maybe against mech, but against Biomech, not really. And against Protoss, I guess they're fine, because sometimes they die too fast and sometimes they are too strong. So maybe they can change it, but I don't know if it's possible to do it the way they really want to do it. So yeah, maybe Fungal like a projectile would be a better idea. We'll see how it works out. I guess if it adds a little bit of micro for the opponent, like to play against Infestors, it would be much better. But I just hope they won't like make Infestors almost useless, because right now it's a main unit, and without it, it's even hard to play Zerg. Yeah, you pretty much have to use that. And then you have like Neural. I mean, you mostly use it versus Mothership. It sometimes happens to catch like Archons maybe, but not really anything else. Versus Terran only mech. So yeah, I think the biggest change should be against Mothership, but since they want to remove it or like make it worse or anything like that, then I don't think that change is necessary.
Okay, as you're alluding to, there's two other changes, or big changes. One is that in Heart of the Swarm, Mothership they want to remove Mothership from competitive play, not remove it in the sense that take it out of the game, but they want to nerf it so that it won't be viable in professional play. And also, in Wings of Liberty, they're looking to make interceptors immune to fungal growth. What do you think about these two changes?
So, yeah, I don't really know. I wonder what... I mean, there's no really point in leaving a unit in the game that is really meant no use for professional play. I don't really find it like a good idea. On the other hand, interceptor change. Yeah, carriers are actually very strong versus Zerg, especially like if you make a lot of them. Right now, the way to stop it like is just fungal the interceptors when they clump. But it will be really hard if you know, because if there is like 20 carriers, let's say, or even more, right now you pretty much fungal the interceptors. But you can't really, spam Infested Terrans because there's like 20 carriers. What can you do? I mean, you can shoot like 20, 30 Infested Terrans, but there's so many carriers, it won't really be that useful. So there won't be like a real way to stop the carriers, because Corruptors die too fast. You can spam Infested Terrans fast enough, only with Scroll, but it's not really, it's banned in some tournaments. I don't really use it, and I don't feel like using it anyway. So I don't know about that change actually.
Okay. Well, in general, how do you think Blizzard is handling Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm with balances and responses to the community?
I feel like balance is okay right now, kind of. I mean, there is some things that should be changed. Maybe the game is not really interesting more than like imbalanced, because we will usually see Immortal Lane from Protoss. They're going for Infestor Broodlord every game, like late game. So it's really like boring for the viewer, kind of. Yeah. And they try to change it, and maybe they have to. Yeah, so I just hope they don't break the game. Yeah.
Okay, that's all the questions I have for you right now. Would you like to do any shout-outs or plugs to your sponsors?
Yeah, I would like to thank to Team Acer that I don't have a shirt today. Yeah. Oh, there is a shirt, but it's not really mine. Yeah. Scarlett is such a troll. But I don't have a shirt today, at least mine. And yeah. Yeah, so thanks to Team Acer and Team Liquid, hello. Yeah. Congrats to Creator for making Immortals.
Okay, this has been Monk from Team Liquid, and I was here with Acer.Nerchio and Acer Scarlett sitting behind us. Stay tuned for more interviews, and see you later.